Well, honey. It's getting volume set up. Oh, but the voices were way louder than the music last time, so let me not make it too loud just yet. Okay. Should have made more tea. It's been so cold. So we're gonna, at the very least, finish chapter 1 of Heart of the Woods. And maybe keep going for a bit, or maybe do some art. We'll see where we're at. We'll see how long it takes. Oh, thank you. That's odd. Oh, maybe I can just move the microphone closer. Have to wait and see how the game audio is before I adjust that, so... This is still so cute! I'm not just saying that because it kind of looks like me. Arere? Oh, wait. Load. Right. I'm a fool. Okay. Right, we were being spooked. Let's get in the zone. Okay. Oh hey, where did my accessories go? There we go. Alright, now we're good. Take a big sip of water and let's go. We head to the appointed meeting spot right at the turn of the hour. Even during the day the forest felt hostile and foreign, but now at night it's downright scary. Whoop, sorry, hang on. Well. Every rattle of a branch is a demon's footsteps. Every gust of wind is a monster's breath. I stand close to Tara, treading on the backs of her feet several times. Let me turn that up a scooch, because it said wind howling, but I don't hear any wind howling. Okay, there it is, kind of. I really hope I don't regret turning this up.
I think this is supposed to be the place.
Nope, we're good. I look around the area. It's indistinguishable from the rest of the woods. My only comfort is the tiny pinprick of light that represents our cabin back at the forest's edge. A feeling of dread creeps its way up my spine. What if this is a trap or a setup? Maybe Morgan's just lured us out here into the middle of nowhere and is waiting out of sight with a knife in hand or something. Considering we traveled thousands of kilometers to get here, if this was a trick, we fell for it hard.
Maybe we're early.
I know that we're not. Tara sweeps the flashlight around, illuminating a few identical trees before the light's beam peters off into oblivion.
Maybe we should just go back.
The light passes over Morgan, suddenly a meter away from us. Tara jolts backwards, crashing into me. The flashlight plummets to the ground, bouncing once before stopping. I keep my balance barely and catch Tara's arm to stop her from falling.
Are you okay?
Short term? Yeah, but I think I just lost 10 years.
I know that.
What about you, Mads?
I'm fine. What on earth were you doing?
Me? I was waiting for you.
Where? Didn't you hear us?
Just over there. Sorry, I had headphones in and missed you.
You were just
I had
standing
headphones
in the dark,
in.
in a forest, wearing headphones?
For real, though.
Yes? Why?
At a loss for words, I can only shrug. Does hanging out alone in the dark, in the middle of nowhere, not register as weird for Morgan?
You just spooked us is all, no worries.
She stoops down and retrieves the flashlight from the snow, drying it on her sleeve. She brushes off the snow the same way she brushes off Morgan's actions. I guess the scary moment is over, so.
It's all good. What now?
Morgan turns and faces the trees, shining her flashlight across them.
I thought we could walk around a little. It might help you to get a better feel for the area.
Behind Morgan's back, Tara and I exchange a look of concern. Tara gives me the slightest of shrugs. I'm still reluctant, but I nod. If Morgan's planning to kill us, it's not like it'll make a difference whether she does it here or in the forest. And I'm pretty sure she's not a murderer anyway.
Sure, lead on.
Morgan sets off without another word, and we follow just a couple paces back.
Are we going somewhere in particular?
Not really. I doubt you want to go too far this late at night, right?
Right.
That's fine. We'll stick to the edge then.
As we walk, Morgan keeps her flashlight pointed straight ahead in the direction that we're going. Tara, on the other hand, swings hers around, looking up trees and out into the abyss. She and I only brought one flashlight with us. The spare is sitting in one of our suitcases back at the cabin. I regret leaving it behind just on the off chance that we somehow get separated. Don't set up flags for yourself here.
So, did you learn anything useful today?
Not really. We went around town some, but...
But most people didn't really want to talk?
Yeah.
How'd you know?
She lives here.
That's how it is around here. People are mistrustful.
I was kinda surprised by that. Figured with how out of the way it is here that we might have been, I don't know.
Treated like celebrities?
Breaking only one flashlight feels like amateur work for a paranormal YouTuber with 250,000 subs. Yeah, it's definitely a high number. I think at that point they'd have like one of those, I don't know, like two-handed giant like spotlight things. I guess maybe it's spookier with only one flashlight, but yeah.
Hey now, don't project.
Should have brought a spare.
But something like that.
It's more like they isolate themselves by choice. We have internet and TV. It's just that lots of people choose not to use them. I'm guessing they probably had some not so nice things to say about me too, right?
Neither Tara nor I respond. Our silence lasts a beat too long.
It's okay. I'm used to it. You don't have to
I'm
pretend
gonna
or
grab
anything.
my little, what's it called? Like pressure gloves, copper hands. Mostly because it's a little chilly in the office. It was so cold today. I went for a walk earlier, but I should have worn an extra layer. Light shines in our faces as Morgan turns around, half smiling.
Hey, you two don't need another assistant back where you live or anything, right?
My mouth flaps like a fish while I try to think of a diplomatic response. But then Morgan laughs and faces forward again.
Just kidding.
We trek on in awkward silence. I'm not even sure what we're supposed to be doing or looking for. We're just wandering in the dark, trusting that Morgan knows how to get back to the cabin. It's cold and my feet are sore, and I'm once again regretting coming to Eisenfeld. I also was just thinking that I can't tell if she's supposed to be that deadpan or not. But, see, I don't know, from her expression, maybe she's got a dry sense of humor. I gently tug Tara's sleeve right by her elbow. When she looks at me, I silently gesture back towards where we came from and shrug, hoping she'll get the message. Now? She mouths back. I nod. She gives a worried look over towards Morgan, who's now slightly farther away. Tara holds up 5 fingers. 5 more minutes. Sighing, I nod again. We hurry to catch back up with Morgan.
Something wrong?
Oh no, Maddie, had something in her shoe.
Oh.
It's hard to tell if she buys it. I wouldn't. Mentally, I'm counting backwards from 5 minutes, already imagining the comfort of my bed and blanket back at the cabin. How I'm going to survive a whole month of this is an issue for future me to worry about.
I got lost out in this part of the forest once.
3 minutes and 32 seconds, 3 minutes and 31 seconds.
Don't worry, though. I know my way around now.
Yeah, they mentioned something about that.
I step on Tara's foot again. I'm totally on purpose.
I thought they might.
Her tone is still completely nonchalant. At least Morgan seems impossible to offend.
It's too bad it looks like it's going to snow tonight. We probably shouldn't stay out too late.
Thank God.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I'm sorry this was so disappointing. I'd hoped that there would be more to see.
What exactly were you expecting? It's the middle of the night.
Come on, Mads, it's about the atmosphere. It's way spookier out here when it's dark.
I know, that's half the problem.
We can turn back now if you'd like.
Before I can agree, Tara shakes her head.
Nah, let's give it a couple more minutes. You came out all this way for us after all.
I glare at Tara, but I think she misses it. I've lost track of my countdown, too.
Whatever.
The small, apologetic smile that I barely notice does little to assuage my discomfort. We traipse aimlessly through the snow for a while longer. I stare at my feet more than at the path ahead, and simply follow in the footprints left behind by the other two. So I nearly slam into Tara, who's come to a complete halt yet again.
What now?
I saw something.
You did?
Tara, stop messing around. Let's...
No, I mean it. I saw something.
I shut up. I can tell by her tone that she's serious. She saw something, or at least she thinks she did. The three of us turn and face the way she is. It's even deeper into the forest, barely lit by the moon.
There was a light.
Someone else walking around?
There shouldn't be anyone out at this time of night. It's dangerous to be in the woods once it gets late.
I opt to not point out the obvious hypocrisy.
It was probably moonlight or something.
It wasn't the moon, Maddie. There's something out there.
Both of them point their flashlights in the direction Tara's looking. Sorry, I put a period there for some reason. Aside from more trees, there's nothing to be seen.
Tara?
Maddie.
She grins.
This is what we're here for. Come on.
Tara breaks into a run, leaving Morgan and I behind her in surprise. We exchange a look before Morgan runs off after her. I have no choice but to go too. The regret is almost instant. Cold knives pierce my lungs with each heavy breath. I'm not in the best shape to begin with, and the snow and boots don't make things any easier. I get that. The only consolation is that we're running in a straight line, so it won't be hard to follow our path back. Sorry about my phone. Every so often we pause to catch our breath. The pace is catching up to Tara, too, who has to fight to keep her smile on. Morgan seems unfazed by it all. I'm about 3 seconds away from demanding that we give up when I see it. The girls spot a mysterious pink floating light in the forest, and Tara points it out to the others. Way off in the distance, too far to identify the source, is a light. It sparkles and glimmers like a star that fell to Earth. Okay, they do have cell phone service out there. What? Or wait. The reason I don't always silence my phone when I stream is because I will absolutely forget to turn it back on afterward. I'm gonna take another drink of water. Sorry, I'm a little croaky tonight. I fall silent, the words stolen from my mouth. Then Tara points, stating what we already know.
There it is!
Buoyed by her second wind, Tara runs off again. This time, Morgan and I are close behind. We follow the light, which sometimes blinks out but soon reappears. I'm too focused on not slipping and falling to give much thought as to the source. There's no telling how long or how far we've been going. Somehow, the light never seems to get any closer or farther away. It's like it's running from us.
Hey, wait up!
Tara yells out into the darkness. If whatever it is can understand her, it ignores her. Running is quickly becoming difficult. My lungs burn from the cold, and my breathing turns ragged after barely a minute. Tara pulls further and further ahead from Morgan and me, her one-track mind fixated on that light. After a bit longer, I hit my limit, and my pace slows back to a walk, then a stop. I fold over, hands on my knees, as I gasp for breath. Morgan crunches to a stop just ahead, too, turning back towards me.
Are you alright?
I try to respond, but I'm breathing too heavily to be able to talk. I just wave my hand, gesturing for Morgan to go on ahead without me, but she doesn't.
Are you sure?
I force myself to stand and nod.
I'm fine.
In the murk, Tara's become a disembodied light herself, only the flashlight's glow visible. I watch it bounce to a halt and then slowly make its way back toward us.
You guys give up too easily.
How are you not dead? I haven't seen you run in years.
That's 'cause you never hit the gym with me.
I don't know if she's joking or not, and I'm too worn out to care.
So, what was that thing? Do you think it was your forest spirit?
Morgan's eyes widen.
You believe me?
Tara shrugs.
I'm considering it at least. I mean, what else could it have been?
Fairies.
Morgan says it very nonchalantly. I side-eye Tara, who is very interested in her boots.
The forest spirit doesn't really make a light like that. At least, not that I'm aware of.
That was a very good, completely deadpan fairies.
Right, that makes sense.
Hi, Kitsu. You lurking for now? I'm gonna go take a quick shower. No worries, have a nice shower. Just got back from work and feel exhausted. Oh, well, thanks for coming by so fast then. You should relax.
Doesn't it, Mads?
It was probably someone from the village.
But as I say it, I know how unlikely that is. The way the light seemed to always maintain a precise distance was unnatural. I can feel the seeds of doubt being sown in my heart.
But it was definitely strange.
Tara looks at me with more pride than a rainbow flag.
Hey, holy shit! That's practically canon in Maddie terms.
I roll my eyes, but it's partially just for show. I'm curious at the very least. I wouldn't call myself a believer, as much as Tara wishes. But that's two strange things so far, which is two more than I expected when I boarded the train out here. Wait, what was the first thing?
It was strange. That's as much as I'll...
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure if that was supposed to be a dramatic gasp. Yeah, I mean, she saw a tree that looked like it was moving weird on their way here, but that didn't seem strange. Unless she just means, like, everything about the town, but... Second... Yeah, I don't know. A yawn overtakes me in the middle of speaking. It doesn't help the pain in my lungs.
Oh, guess it's past your bedtime, huh?
Look, I get that. I kick some snow at her and it bounces uselessly off her pants. With the way we've been bantering with each other, it really does feel a bit more like old times. Make that 3 strange things on this trip so far. Seriously, what was the first thing?
We should begin heading back anyway. We can't go much further in before I'd be lost too.
You still know where we are?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes, of course. We'd be in trouble if not.
She has a point. I got so caught up chasing the light that I lost track of what direction we'd come from.
I'll show you around more tomorrow. There's something you might like to see.
Yeah? What is it?
A surprise. We'll go tomorrow before it gets dark. It's a bit of a walk.
Does it have to do with whatever that light was?
I have no idea. It's possible.
Story of my life.
Mm.
Okay, well, we'll call it quits for tonight and pick back up tomorrow?
Yeah, I guess.
That's fine by me.
Great!
She hops forward, then pauses.
Guess you ought to lead the way.
Morgan smiles as she does just that. It takes us only 15 minutes or so to reach the cabin. We must have added a lot of time to our trip with all the wandering we did. Morgan bids us farewell at the door, which I barely return before stumbling inside. I'm halfway out of my boots by the time Tara's inside.
Guess you're not staying up late then.
I'm out like a light the second I hit the bed.
But she took her boots off? Or just because she did it so fast, I guess. Tara grins, just briefly.
Right.
My hand is on the doorknob when Tara clears her throat.
Hey, thanks for, you know, chasing after that thing. I appreciate you playing along.
My hand lingers on the door, poised to turn.
Yeah, of course. Let's see what we find tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. Right. Good night.
Night.
I quickly step in and then shut my bedroom door before Tara can say anything else. As I switch off the lights and crawl into bed, I remember the end of the train ride here. I felt the same just now, standing there not knowing what to say. It would be so easy. I banished those thoughts from my mind and wrenched my eyes shut. That I remember, at least. There will be time to worry about it tomorrow. I have time to think. We have a month. As I slowly drift off to sleep, the exhaustion that I feel winning out over the stress... the last thoughts I have are dancing lights in the snow. I guess we weren't... That must be the end of the chapter, right? We start to fall into a bit of a routine. Every day, Tara and I will get up and explore Eisenfeld or the surrounding area a bit. We never go too far into the forest, but just enough to set up some dramatic camera angles, or to film some monologue segments for Tara. Once Morgan's done with work, she'll join us or show us around. Sometimes she brings her cat with her. Surprise, surprise. It still hasn't said a word. She keeps promising it eventually will, though. Ever since the night we saw the light in the trees, we've hoped to encounter something equally mysterious or interesting. No such luck, though. Any sort of hope or excitement that I had, any bit of belief that I'd allowed myself to build up, has been squashed back down to resigned indifference. My trademark, I know. It took about a week of this before Morgan asked us to wait for her at the cabin, saying she was finally ready to show us that thing she mentioned. Did she say the next morning? She still wasn't any more forthcoming with what it was, but over the week we'd known Morgan, I'd gotten a little more comfortable with the idea. She was gonna leave us in a shallow grave or something? She'd had plenty of opportunities to do that already. The heavy clouds overhead promised a darker night than the past few, and probably heavier snowfall. We won't be able to stay out that late. Even with Morgan's guidance, the possibility of being caught in a snowstorm is hard to ignore. Tara paces back and forth outside as I linger in the doorway, trying to enjoy the warmth from the cabin for as long as I can. Finally, a fashionable 15 minutes late, I spot Morgan heading down the trail from the village toward us. Tara zips off to intercept her, and the two of them approach together.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
But
Work was a little busy
Morgan?
tonight.
Are you touching Tara's butt? Oh my.
No worries.
Well, that answers one of the myths about Eisenfeld that I was curious about. Whether or not anyone ever actually shops at Morgan's store. It's a little busy. Oh, okay. Also, wait, we're still in chapter 1, I think. Tara bounces around between the two of us, raring to get going. Morgan smiles approvingly at her.
So, you said you had something special planned for tonight, right?
She spent the whole day trying to guess what it is.
I think I've narrowed it down. It's either a crashed UFO, the Fountain of Youth, or Elvis.
Those are the ones you narrowed it down to?
Someday, Mads, it's gonna be Elvis, and you're going to wish you'd believe me.
I face Morgan, pointedly turning my back to Tara.
Anyway, we're ready to go if you are.
Do you both have flashlights? We're going to be heading
Thank
a bit
you.
deeper into the woods this time.
We both hold up our lights in unison. After our first venture into the forest together, there's no way I'm ever going out there without each of us having a flashlight. Just having one makes me feel more self-reliant. It helps suppress my anxiety a little bit. Just a little.
Great. Follow me.
It's Elvis who crashed his UFO into the Fountain of Youth. She was so close. We circle back around the cabin and head into the woods.
I've been waiting to show you two this since you got here. You're going to love it.
Waterfall or something, maybe? Tara starts to vibrate again, clearly soaking up the suspense. As much as I hate to admit it, she's got me pretty curious too. I'm not sure what she could be keeping secret out here, and for so long.
This isn't going to be dangerous or anything, right?
Probably not.
I like those odds.
We set up at a fairly brisk pace. Tara makes it a point to walk right by Morgan's side, taking short and hurried strides. If she doesn't find out where we're going soon, I'm pretty sure she might actually explode.
Okay, I'm gonna keep guessing. Ancient graveyard, fairy circle, satanic ritual, Sasquatch den?
Close. It's a church.
Tara stops dead in her tracks.
Wait, a church? Was Maddie right when she said you were gonna try to get us to join a cult?
I never said that.
I might have said that. Despite our antics, Morgan never stops or slows down.
Nothing like that, I promise. It's really old. Older than any of the buildings you've seen in Eisenfeld. The people who built it are ancestors of the residents today.
Ooh.
I guess they were what you'd consider pagans. They worshipped a god of the forest.
Hmm.
Whoa.
I mean, that's, well. I expect more to the story, but that seems to be Morgan's stopping point for now. She focuses on the path instead, swinging her lantern around in an arc as she looks for whatever it is that's telling her where to go. Every single tree around me looks identical, but I guess one of them is a little more special than the rest. When she sees whichever one that is, she starts to lead us on again. Ancient gods, monsters, cults, very normal. My glasses start fogging up a bit more as we walk. I should have insisted that Tara layer up a bit more. I'd be a pretty crappy friend if I let her freeze to death out here.
So, to summarize, your great-great-whatevers and the rest of the villagers built an old church out in the forest to worship a giant forest spirit, and that's what we're going to see right now?
Right.
Have I mentioned that this is going to be the best episode of the show ever?
Morgan's got Tara hanging on to her every word, hook, line, and sinker. I'm glad she's having a good time, at least. No thanks to me.
You said it's older than the rest of the village. Do you know how old?
Centuries, at least. I don't know how many. I've done some research on the history of Eisenfeld, but none of the books really mention it.
That's sketchy.
How'd you learn about it then?
A lot of it comes from old journals, or other documents left behind by the people who used to live here. Parts of it are passed down as family legends, too.
The image of Evelyn and Morgan sitting cozily by a fire while Evelyn tells stories is one that I can't imagine actually happened. I'm not going to pry into the details of that, though.
You think we could take a look at those journals sometime? Maybe we could show them off on the show. Authentic first-hand accounts, or something like that.
For some reason, now Morgan stops, looking ponderous. I also realize that it's starting to snow. Just barely, but enough to make me bite my lip and watch the sky.
I'd be happy to show you.
Score! You're seriously the best. Like, thanks for doing all this.
I mean,
It's nothing, really. Don't all your hosts do the same?
A lot of them only stick around for the first day or two. Then once they realize there's a lot of filming and setting up behind the scenes, they get bored.
I was wondering if she's been filming these, like, nighttime walks or not. For all her issues, I can't deny that Morgan's been a much more gracious and helpful host than we're used to. We walk in silence for a little bit. All the while, the snow continues to fall, getting heavier and heavier. At first I try to ignore it, but it's hard. Like always, it seems it'll fall to me to be the responsible one. Sorry if my reading's a little off tonight. Just tired. Not that that's not literally always the case.
Hey, Morgan? Are you sure it's safe to keep going? It's starting to snow pretty hard.
Both of them look up as if they hadn't noticed.
Oh, you're right.
Now it's Morgan who turns around and looks back the way we came. I can practically hear the gears turning in her head. Tara watches, looking anxious. Oh, so she only worries if Morgan starts to look uncomfortable.
It's going to get bad pretty soon.
She says it so matter-of-factly that at first the severity of her words don't register. Then every single alarm bell in my head starts ringing. Don't like the name of that song.
How soon is pretty soon? And how bad?
I'd say within the next half hour. Those clouds don't look good.
That's an understatement. They seem to be moving almost impossibly fast. Just like that, the weather has gone from a light snow to the start of a blizzard.
We need to turn back then. Back to the cabin.
I take a couple steps, but the first snow has made it harder to walk. Even the trail that we just left has been partially obscured. I know, Spibby.
We're closer to the church than the cabin. I think we should go there and wait it out.
Wait it out? What if it doesn't just pass by? What if we're stuck there for days?
It's better than being dead, you know.
I turn to her in disbelief.
No shit it is!
Morgan wrings her hands, looking genuinely distressed.
I don't know what's going on. I don't think it was...
Once again, she looks back in the direction we came from, lost in thought.
We're just wasting time standing here arguing, you know. Morgan said we should go to the church, and she's the expert.
I'm loath to call her an expert at this point, but Tara's right that we don't have time to spare. We're definitely in dire straits if she's the one being the voice of reason.
Fine, let's get going then.
We don't waste any more energy on talking. Yeah. Serious face. We just follow Morgan as closely as we can. The light from her bounces in the wind, reminiscent of the light we followed just a few short days ago. I focus on it, using it as a beacon, since it's easier to keep track of than Morgan herself. I bury my face into my scarf as much as I can, feeling the wind push against me and making it harder to walk. Where must go? Here it is. Blah. Maybe I'll turn this shadow off. Okay. By now, the world around us is starting to grow more and more blurry. It'll be a whiteout before long. My heart beats hard in my chest as my anxiety starts to skyrocket. We keep walking, huddled closer together as we press on. Tara keeps a brave face, but she's shuddering more with each step. Morgan and I push a little closer to her, hoping to help shield her from the wind as much as we can. She really should have... Like, did she bring a coat? When we get back, if we get back, I'm not letting her take another step outside until she agrees to start wearing something warmer. Yeah. After what feels like years, we come to a stop. My legs are leaden with the effort of marching through the snow. I'm afraid that Morgan's going to say that we're lost, but then I realize that we've arrived. Just ahead, a huge stone building stands tall. For its supposed age, it looks remarkably intact. The Howling Winds buffet it, but even from here it looks infinitely safer than being stuck out here. A pair of massive wooden doors looms before us.
Just give me 1 second and I'll get this open.
She grabs a hold of the door and starts to pull. The freezing wind works against her, and for a tense moment I worry that she wouldn't be able to get them open. But then, with a creak that's audible even in this weather, they slide open to let us in.
After you.
We don't need telling twice. Kara and I hurry inside, with Morgan letting the door slam shut behind her as she follows. The first thing that strikes me is the temperature. An old stone building in the middle of a blizzard should be frigid, but it's not. In fact, it's almost warm. Whoa.
Nads, we hit the jackpot!
It's a nice background. Kingdom Hearts as a stained glass. Her shout reverberates around the massive chamber, leaving a faint echo in its wake. When Morgan said a church, I figured it would be some small wooden shack with a tacked-on steeple, but this... Kara's flashlight beams dances wildly along the walls as she spins in circles, trying to take in every last detail all at once. This is nothing short of incredible. I let my light drift as well, but slowly enough that I can actually take the time to process what I'm seeing. The whole interior is remarkably well preserved. A few broken pews, a couple pieces of collapsed stone, and a layer of dust on nearly every surface are the only things that make the place seem anything less than brand new. Looking closer at the building itself, I can see various flourishes or designs decorating the walls and railings. Whoever built this place, they built it as a labor of love. Sorry, this architecture looks way too modern to be several hundred years old. It kinda does, yeah. I mean... I guess the roof is wood. Or, I mean, the ceiling. Yeah. No, I think you've got a point for sure. The centerpiece is a massive stained glass window that dominates the center of the far wall. Its brilliant colors form an intricate pattern. I make my way over to Morgan, who's currently watching Tara dart around the building with a small, satisfied smile. It dissipates as I approach. Structured flying buttresses were there for support, not just looks. Ah. That makes sense. It's a very precise, or like specific hole in this window. Well, I guess if the frame support structure thing is there. Maybe. Even though I'm relieved to be out of the storm, I can't believe we ended up in this situation in the first place. Before I can say anything, though, she beats me to it.
I'm really sorry about this. I truly am. If I'd thought the weather would turn so foul, I'd have never suggested we come out here. The last thing I want to do is place you and Tara in any danger. I just wanted to show the two of you something tangible. Something different.
I swallow my harsh words. Chastising her wouldn't do us any good. Plus, she's right that the weather changed way faster than I would have expected or even thought possible. Doubt.jk. Does seem potentially supernatural. So I just rub my shoulders, trying to massage some warmth back into them.
Won't apologize yet. There's still plenty of time for us to die of starvation or something like that.
I think it's more likely that we die of exposure first.
Thank you, Morgan. Well, that's reassuring. Suddenly, a beam of light swipes across my face. It comes from Tara on the other side of the building.
Hey, come check out these books!
Morgan and I both start to head over.
By the way, how do you keep it so warm in here? I was looking for a heater or something, but couldn't find one.
It's magic, I think.
You know what? I'm not even gonna argue. Tara's waiting excitedly next to a stack of books. That's probably a first.
Check it out!
Burn. The wooden shelves are warped and damaged beyond repair, but have still retained their shape pretty well. The books that line them are in a similar condition. When I remove one soft cover is cold and rigid, and the text has faded into illegibility. But flipping through the pages, a few of them are still readable. Or at least would be if I could understand the language.
Tell me these aren't filled with ancient incantations or something.
These aren't filled with ancient incantations.
She holds up a book to her face and blows a puff of air towards me, filling my face with dust. I wrinkle my nose, coughing and spluttering.
Hey, what the hell? You don't know what's floating around in here?
You're literally the only person alive who could be in a haunted church and not care at all.
She never said it was haunted, you know? And I'm sorry that I'm still a bit too shaken up over, you know, almost dying in a snowstorm.
Psh, we weren't ever in any real danger, I'm sure. Isn't that right, Morgan?
Actually, I wasn't sure we were going to make it here.
Tara's eyes widen, the reality of the situation hitting her at last. Then she grins.
That makes this an even more badass story for the vlog. Mads, you'll have to go hard on the wind sound effects. Maybe we should set the camera outside, get some footage of the blizzard?
So they do at least bring the camera. I was starting to wonder. She hurries over to where I'd abandoned the camera on one of the pews and picks it up, dancing around as she frames mock shots. I open my mouth to tell her how dumb that is when a trickle of dust spirals past me. The whole church shakes with a slight tremor, and more dust is displaced.
Earthquake?
That would be the icing on this cake. It would also be horrifically ironic if we survived the blizzard only to die in a freak earthquake. I mean, we didn't survive the blizzard yet. Something tells me that's not what this is, though. There's another tremor, slightly stronger this time, and with it, a distant boom, like someone shooting a cannon in the forest. The three of us exchange a glance, silently. For once, even Tara is silent. The stained glass window rattles. I hear Morgan suck in a breath. When I look at her, her eyes are wild and confused. Confused. The thunderous sound is getting closer. Then there's another sound, a blistering crack that I recognize as a tree splintering. It's Howell's moving haunted church. Boom. The thunderous sound is getting closer. Forest haunted. Then there's another sound, a blistering crack that Nope, I already read that, sorry. No winds, no matter how strong, should be able to do that. Wordlessly, Tara heads over to the front doors. Though my first instinct is to call her back to what I hope is safety, I find myself more curious than afraid. I have to know what it is. I have to see it. Wow. You guys are lucky this is a Yuri visual novel and not a horror movie. Morgan lingers behind us, unsure of what to say or do. Tara reaches the doors and presses her shoulder against it. She pushes the door open, just a crack, or at least she tries to. But the terrifying wind catches and rips the doors all the way open, as if presenting the scene before us. I struggle to comprehend what I'm seeing. An immense monster towers over the trees and church, putting all of Maddie's doubts to rest. It has antlers and glowing red eyes. Finds one of them on its chest. Tall, taller even than the trees, stands what I can only describe as a monster. Yeah, it's more than just haunted. Where do you keep that thing? Two enormous, luminous red eyes peer out across the black expanse of the night sky. Neither the howling wind nor the biting snow seems to affect it at all.
Oh my god.
That's not possible.
Is it recording, or... This can't be happening. This can't be real. My legs are about to collapse under me. My heart drops like a rock in my chest, and every heartbeat sends a rush of blood through my body so strong it drowns out the cacophonous storm. We're still in chapter 1, folks. Yeah, seriously. When is this gonna turn into a girl that we can date? I mean, I think there's not that many dialogue options in this. It's not a dating thing per se, but... Tara fumbles with the camera, her hands shaking violently. Cursing, trembling, she struggles to lift up her face, repeatedly losing her grip as she tries to focus on the thing in front of us. I thought we were more the camera person. I don't know how she can even have the presence of mind to do that. Yeah, fair. My thoughts are a blur as my mind does its best to process what I'm seeing. It's like the forest itself come to life. Like a whole mass of trees just uprooted themselves from the ground to form something that can't possibly exist. Branches twist and contort into each other. One tree splits into 10. Wood, rotting into decay and growing anew again, spins from the impossibly red center. Or impossible red center. I see. Two immense horns pierce the sky, looking like lightning bolts permanently imprinted against the clouds. Every thought that I can manage to form is fleeting. Every rational part of me tells me that what I'm seeing shouldn't exist, that it isn't possible. Yet here it is. Undeniable. All I can do is stare. The red glows brightly, burning my eyes, like it's staring right back at me. Ah, hello! Saki-nyan! Maybe it is. Give you a shout out. Saki-nyan is a cute fellow VTuber who also did my ringing. Oh, I just turned all my stuff off by using the numpad. When did I use the numpad? What? Oh, I just turned my scarf off. Gonna be cold without your scarf. Yeah, I forgot that I made... Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, thank you. Yeah, my game category. Shoot. It is still... Thank you so much. I did not notice. The beast shuffles forward, its feet obscured by the forest below. With each movement, there's another massive echo. I know I had another message from you. I was sort of running around to get ready for stream as usual. Trees crackle and snap beneath its immense weight like twigs, flattened to nothing and buried under the snowfall. This really is an eventful first chapter. Okay. Ready? Slowly, the beast lumbers off into the night and is swallowed from sight by the darkness. Soon, even the sounds of its footsteps fade too. How are the townspeople just gonna keep pretending there's nothing going on? I'm not sure how long Tara and I remain in petrified silence. I realize that I've fallen to my knees, though I have no recollection of it happening. I feel like I have no recollection of anything, that nothing will ever make sense again. At some point, Morgan comes to my side, helping Tara and I back indoors. My whole body is numb with either shock or the cold. Perhaps both. She leads us to one of the benches that's mostly intact. I collapse down onto it, my legs still unwilling to support me. I glance at Tara. All the color is gone from her face, and she's still trembling. I probably don't look much better. For a long time, none of us know what to say. We sit and wait, until long after the snow has stopped falling and morning arrives. Wow. Ah. We made it! Chapter 2! Alright, I'm gonna go refill my water bottle. I'll be right back. Hey, oops. Rancy, hello. Oh. Did I miss a raid? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry I missed raid. Hi, Rancy, thank you so much. And thanks for covering me there. Let me get you a shout out. What were you doing? My goodness, I hope you weren't waiting long. Well, my model fell asleep. I added a toggle for this outfit and I made it shift 1 because I was like, I won't use shift 1 otherwise, right? Whoops, oh no. Oh no! Not me being scuffed at a raid. If you're new here, my name is Honey Melon. I'm a melf, that's a melon elf princess. Never mind, we'll fix that later. Here I come. Whoop. I'm a Japanese to English translator. And currently, I am playing Heart of the Woods. It's a Yuri visual novel. A Yuri slash... I'm told not horror exactly, but like dark fantasy. Ballista, thank you for the follow. Konnichiwa. Oh, honey. Oh my god. I left my water bottle when I went to go refill it. No! I refilled it and I left it there. Ah! Omni Uman, thank you for the follow. I didn't run my, run my thing there. There it is. Okay. Oh my god, the little Bang Dream, Oh, thanks so much for the cheer. The little bits. What's that Bang Dream emote? What are you up to? I lost it. Oh, you were playing Nekopara. Alright, so we're keeping up a visual novel theme. Very nice. Alright. Let me play for another minute and then I'll go get my water bottle that I forgot because I'm a little croaky tonight. But yeah, thanks for coming. We normally do art and games, comfy games. And I've been doing work streams in the afternoon lately. Should I quickly hit the story thus far? I mean, we're a couple of girls, a couple of gal pals, hunting ghosts. We came to a weird town in an unspecified country, at the invitation of a mysterious girl named Morgan. And, we got caught in a snowstorm, took refuge in a weird church in the middle of the woods. And then we saw a giant, like, tree kaiju? A giant tree monster of some kind? Walking by. So yeah, thank you again for the raid. Man stag gone? Treant? Something like that. So we just started chapter 2, so we're not too far in yet. I meant to see if I could go back, but I'll save anyway. To an empty slot, even though I kinda just like looking at the chapter art. Yeah, Heart of the Woods, at least. I mean, judging by the title screen, it does look like it's gonna get gay at some point. But I guess it's gonna be spooky gay. Spooky. I don't say a word on the way back to the cabin. How can I? How do you vocalize the knowledge that your core understanding of the world just turned out to be wrong? The internet has assured me that it's gonna be gay. Yeah, I mean, given Studio Alon's track record, it's a safe bet. It's gonna be gay. Feels like the ground beneath my feet dropped out from under me. My steps are unsteady, and I feel nausea come up like waves. My head pounds hard. I've always prided myself on my healthy skepticism, but I can't deny what's right in front of me. My thoughts scramble to find some way to explain it, some way that I can piece it together in a way I can understand. But it's hopeless. Tara is still struck mute. I'd expect her to be bouncing off the walls, to be unable to calm down. After all, this is what she's been after all these years. Ever since we started the show? Ever since she first had the idea for the show? Now that we finally actually found something, neither of us know how to react. She keeps playing this short clip she recorded over and over again, watching until the battery runs dry. A lot of it is unusable due to the snow and her shaky hands. Excuse me. I'm gonna need to grab that water bottle. I guess I'll just do that now. Or maybe we'll at least wait for the girls to come in. But there's still a few seconds of clear, uninterrupted footage. Her ratings are gonna go off the charts. We're gonna have to prepare for endless barrages of questions and accusations of doctoring in the footage. This will mean interviews, national news, maybe even a book deal. Nothing will ever be the same again. It's kind of funny because I just watched Don't Look Up, and I feel like probably just no one would believe it's real. Never heard of this game before, but I'm very interested in it. Iri daisuki desu. Watashi mo daisuki. I've even got a Yuri chat stream coming up next Friday, so a week from this Friday. But all we can manage is silence. Morgan's the only one who seems somewhat calm, even though she's a bit shaken. She's the one who coaxes us to leave the church and start heading back to town. Yeah, the melon motorcyclists are zooming out there. It's the obvious thing to do, yet somehow the suggestion sounds like a crazy idea that I would have never come up with myself. All of my thoughts are mush. If it weren't for Morgan, I'm sure Tara and I would both end up wandering the woods in total shock. I can barely manage a slow stumble as I follow from way behind. Thick, fresh snow impedes the path. The blizzard subsided, but the harsh wind bites at my exposed skin. It all feels like too much.
Maddie, are you okay?
Right, I'm gonna grab my water bottle that I left now. I'll be right back. Okay. Much better. It takes me a few seconds to even register her voice, and a few more to realize she's looking back at me with genuine concern.
Yeah, I'm fine.
My brain screams to ask for help, and my body feels moments away from collapsing. But what kind of help could she give me? I can only focus on reaching our destination. Morgan looks like she wants to respond, but instead resumes her trek forward, this time moving at a somewhat slower pace. What? Sorry, I'm tripping over him tonight. After a while, the faintest light in the distance comes into view. The cabin. Our light, our refuge in the darkness. You're lucky that Ent didn't stomp it. Tara's pace quickens to a near sprint, like she had been waiting for this moment. She rushes and crosses the distance, disappearing inside. Morgan walks alongside me. She opens the door, following inside behind me. I feel a sudden pang of guilt over how much I've disregarded her before now. Especially since she was actually right. As soon as I reach the couch, my legs give out from under me and I fall onto it like a ton of bricks. It isn't until I hit the cushions that I realize I nearly crushed Tara, who was already collapsed next to me. Ugh.
Sorry.
She doesn't say anything. She might not have noticed. I thought that getting back to the cabin in safety would renew her enthusiasm. She should be running circles around me, screaming, "I told you so." Everything about her whole existence has just been validated. But she's just looking down at the ground without saying a word. Her bangs obscure her eyes, making her face unreadable. Her chest rises and falls in an odd rhythm. Then I realize that, just like me, she's still trembling. The monster's silhouette flashes through my head again. Huge and terrifying, the red light shining down to the very center of my being.
Here, this will help.
I know, it's not high Yuri vibes yet, but we'll get there. Maybe the tree ant's actually a cute girl. She sets 2 glasses of water down on the table in front of us. I didn't even register her coming over here. Tara clears her throat and leans forward.
Thanks. Seriously.
They're the first words that she's spoken in what feels like hours. She manages a small sip, but most of it dribbles down her shirt. Maybe I'm hoarse because I've had the heat on so high today. It was really cold. I don't even reach for my glass, knowing that my hands are just as shaky, if not more. My entire worldview was shattered. It's going to take more than just a walk in the snow and a glass of tap water for everything to sink in.
How are you not freaking out? Have you seen that thing before?
No, that was my first time as well.
She doesn't answer the other part of my question. And she's seen other weird stuff here? So maybe that helped. Tara continues to slowly drink her glass of water, while mine remains untouched. At some point, Morgan goes into the kitchen and prepares a pot of coffee. I can hear her rummage around in the fridge and smell the coffee as it brews, but neither register beyond a cursory awareness. She does have that purported talking cat. Yeah, maybe the cat prepared her for it. What does get my attention is when she sits 2 steaming mugs down in front of us, hot coffee sloshing over onto her hands.
Drink this. It'll help.
I do as I'm told, lapping at the brew since it's too hot to sip. Lapping at it? If it's too hot to sip, won't that hurt more? Tara does the same. Morgan sits beside her on the couch, draining her own mug much faster than we do as she gazes out the window. Is Morgan secretly, like, hundreds of years old? Is this that? Are these they? By the time I'm about halfway through my own, I do feel a bit better. Whether that's because of the warmth, the caffeine, or just the placebo effect, I'm not sure. Once we're finished, we just lapse back into preoccupied silence. Yet again, it's Morgan who breaks it.
I think the 2 of you should take some time to relax. I need to get home soon too, before I arouse too much suspicion.
Arouse suspicion.
Does that work for you?
I look to Tara, who doesn't seem to have even heard what Morgan said.
Yeah, sounds fine.
The more that I think about it, the more appealing it sounds. Right now, I want nothing more than to curl up in my bed, cocoon myself in blankets, and sleep for a while.
Okay, I'll see you later then.
Never one for long goodbyes, Morgan heads straight for the door.
I'll message you soon.
She leaves before either of us can respond. Have they been texting? We sit. And sit. Hi, IRL cam girl. That's alright, you're never too late. Thank you for the follow. Now I get to see that excellent emote again, so it's perfect. As much as I'd like to, I know we can't just sit here forever. Did I hit the previous line? I don't remember. The knowledge that we'll soon have to return to mundane, everyday things feels unreal. We just witnessed something magical and life-changing. How could we just go back to normal life? But I know that in truth, the world hasn't changed at all. Just our knowledge of it. No matter how long we wait, the outside world will continue to pass us by. Feels like an eternity passes, but Tara's voice breaks through the silence. I'm not sure if I fell asleep or not, but I react with a start, and my heart beats 100 miles an hour.
So, what do you think?
About which part? There's a lot to take in.
No worries, have a good lurk. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you again for the raid.
About all of it. Or any of it.
While she sits, she idly pulls on a loose blanket. Oh my god, alright. Let's try that one again. While she sits, she idly pulls on a loose thread from a blanket close by. She pulls and pulls, and it unravels even further. I don't think she notices she's doing it.
I think the main thing is that I wonder what else is out there now. Not just in the forest, but in the whole world.
Maybe that's the
Are there
only
more of those
thing.
things? Or is it the only one of its kind? And how did no one ever see it before? There's just so much that I don't know how or what to feel. What about you?
Again, she shrugs.
The same, pretty much.
There's no way you're not gonna get that VTuber award now, you know?
Oh. At first I was like, I thought we were just calling it YouTube. But maybe VTube is for, like, paranormal YouTube specifically. Baby steps Maddie. Deal with the giant stag man right there before everything else. That's fair. It's a surefire joke. It should be an easy smile, but she doesn't react at all.
Probably not. Think I'm gonna crash. Good night, Mads.
Just like Morgan, she gets up and leaves without even giving me time to reply. There's barely 5 seconds between her saying it and her bedroom door slamming shut behind her. It's not at all the kind of response I'd expect from Tara, but these are far from normal circumstances. All that I can do now is wait for her or for Morgan. Wait and wonder. Again, sorry if I'm tripping on my words more than usual tonight. I've been like in a deadline zone where I'm actually being pretty productive during the day, but then at night my brain is just like done. Which is also why I think we're just gonna play this and not do any art tonight, probably. After a late night spent researching, I awaken. That's a good idea. I awaken around 11 in the morning, a good 2 or 3 hours later than I usually get up. I get dressed in a hurry, not wanting to keep Tara waiting before we head into town. It would be a pretty ironic twist, though, since usually I'm the one who has to wait for her to get ready after late nights. Again, I feel like her use of irony is... it's on the fence. Borderline. Also, did she not, like, unpack her stuff yet? I have a sheaf of notes that I took and a hand-cramped match. I'm not sure how useful all of it will be, but it's at least a starting point. Tara's good at seeing the hidden connections and putting pieces together, too. It makes for entertaining videos, even without results. Boob tube for Yuri. Out in the living room, a lukewarm pot of coffee and a used mug are the only indication that she's awake.
Hey, I'm up now. Slept in a little. I'll be ready to go in a sec.
I call out from the kitchen, preparing my own cup of coffee. She doesn't respond. I wonder if she can't hear me with the door closed. I go and knock on the door, being careful not to spill any coffee on myself. No response. I knock again, louder. Most likely she has her headphones in. That or she fell back asleep.
You ready? I'm good to go. I have a bunch of notes and research too. Maybe we could go over some of it with Morgan.
Silence. She's not that heavy of a sleeper. I knock again, even harder, but she still doesn't answer. I jiggle the doorknob a little bit. It turns easily. I open the door slowly, giving her ample time to yell and interrupt me. But she doesn't. Her room is empty. She left without me. I let go of my carefully arranged papers, suddenly not really caring that much about them as they flutter to the floor. My hand shakes, hard enough for coffee to spill out of the mug and staining the pages below. So that's how it is. Whatever it is. I swallow the lump in my throat, forcing myself not to overreact. Maybe she tried to wake me up and I slept through it. Or maybe she just went out for a walk and will be back soon so that we can go into town. There are 100 different benign scenarios for what could have happened, but in my heart I know that she ditched me, plain and simple. Maybe you shouldn't know if you'd want to, like, leave the house after witnessing a traumatic thing. I don't know. Maybe she just wasn't thinking. I go to the sink and dump out the coffee, my appetite suddenly gone. Then I pick up the papers that I dropped. A few are ruined beyond legibility from the coffee, but it's not like anyone will miss them. Girl. I don't know, I feel like she's being a tad bit dramatic. But then again, maybe there's some extra context here that we don't know about yet. Because we still don't know why Madi said that she's gonna quit the channel when she gets home. Like that this is their last video. I don't know if that's still gonna be true. I throw them in the trash, along with the sodden paper towels that I used to clean up the spill. I gather the rest of the papers into a pile and leave them on the kitchen counter. Throwing them away feels like a waste, but I don't really want to look at them right now. Oh, okay, she's just throwing out the ones that got ruined. I retreat back to my room and slam the door, even though there's no one around to hear it. I put on a film at random, for background noise more than anything. My thoughts start to wander before the opening credits are even finished. What exactly was it that I did that upset Tara so much? Before Morgan took us to the church, things were fine between us, if not a bit tense. But I was working on my attitude, and she didn't seem bothered. And since seeing the monster, both of us have said so little. So I'm just left wondering what I did wrong. I wish that she would talk to me and at least help me understand. You broke up with her. Yeah. It would make sense. I'm about 15 minutes into the film before I realize that I have the French audio track playing without subtitles, and that I haven't understood a word of it. I close my laptop and stare blankly at the wall, since it's the only thing I can do and not mess up right now. It isn't long before I can hear the crunching of 2 pairs of footsteps outside, as well as the low murmur of conversation. The front door bursts open, and from my room, I can hear the din of Tara entering.
It's gotta be related to the stuff in the journals. There's no way they're not talking about the same thing. Just send all those pics to my email address when you can. This is gonna be so freaking good.
Sure thing.
I sit paralyzed in my bed. Should I ignore them? Go out and act like nothing's out of the ordinary? Part of me wants to just hide in my room, but the way Tara and I have always gotten over our arguments is by being open about our issues. Plus, Tara would know that I'm at the cabin, so if she brought Morgan back here, I doubt she's trying to avoid me. Maybe they came back specifically to include me. Maybe they've forgotten who you are. Hoping for the best, I head out into the living room. Tara's brewing a pot of coffee while Morgan leans against the counter. A few books that she must have brought from home are stacked beside her. She glances up as I enter.
Hey, Madi.
Hey there.
Tara nods without facing me.
What are the books?
I nod at the stack. Tara sets 2 cups of coffee in front of her and Morgan and slides the books toward herself. Wow.
They're the journals she mentioned on the walk to the church. She was letting me take a look at them.
She puts emphasis on the word me, like she's the only one who's allowed to. Maybe that's the case. That's not what happened in the read, but this isn't off to a great start.
I see you've picked up a coffee habit too, huh? Morgan's really rubbed off on you.
Yeah.
She turns to face Morgan, being sure to exclude me from what she says.
Okay, we can chill in my room. Might want to grab one of the spare chairs from out here.
Oh, okay.
It's a small consolation, but I can tell that even Morgan feels a little uncomfortable with the situation. She just gives me a sympathetic look, but doesn't say anything. Huh. I guess Madi was right to be alarmed by this. Just why is Tara acting like this? If she would just tell me, we could work it out. I stick out an arm, halting Morgan as she carries the chair across the cabin.
Tara, can I talk to you for a sec?
The two of them exchange a look, but I can't tell what it's supposed to mean. Then she shrugs. I gesture toward my room, and she follows me in. I shut the door.
Can you please, like, tell me why you're mad at me?
I'm not mad at you.
I scoff.
Whatever you want to call it, why are you treating me like this?
My actual theory is that Tara is hurt that Maddie hasn't actually believed in any of this before. That could be.
Like what?
I can already feel myself starting to get angry, but I try to keep it under control.
Please don't play dumb like that. You barely talked to me for 3 days. You ditched me this morning,
3
and now you're
days?
going out of your way to exclude me.
I forgot it had been, Has she been, like, giving her the... Look at this history. I, like, thought it was... Why did I think it was the next day? She made a joke. They went to bed. She stayed up researching. Oh, I thought they meant, like, since they saw the monster. But, yeah, okay. That makes more sense since they got here.
I don't know how to interpret that as anything other than mad. I have no idea what I said or did to piss you off, so I don't even know what to apologize for.
Yeah, she could just still be mad that she's quitting after they made this discovery, instead of immediately being like, we've got to make more videos. Tara runs a hand through her hair and looks around my room. It's the first time she's been in here since we arrived in Eisenfeld. It's more or less a carbon copy of hers, so I don't know what's so interesting about it.
I'm not mad, I'm just not wasting your time with this stuff anymore. I can take it from here.
I'm not quite sure I heard her right.
Sorry, what?
I said I can take it from here.
Take what exactly?
The vid. I mean, you're quitting anyway, so I've got to learn how to do
Right.
all this on my own, right?
But that's not...
I don't even know what to say to that.
Why not ask me at least? Or even tell me? That's so screwed up.
How do you figure? Every day since we've got here, you've talked about or at least shown how you don't want to be here. You even said it yourself. You had to make an effort to be less bitchy whenever we go out. So, now that there's a solid lead, I can figure out the rest of it myself. Or at least with Morgan's help.
Wow.
If you want, I can buy you an early train ticket home or something. Next one should be coming through in a day or two. You don't have to keep pretending to care.
Girl? The whole time, her tone never changes. It's flat and emotionless. I wonder if that's another result of Morgan's influence. I wait, expecting there to be more. Hoping that there's more. There isn't. I stand there dumbfounded. Tara shrugs again and then leaves, closing my bedroom door behind her.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's get those journals.
Wow! I can still hear her talking to Morgan through the wall, bright and chipper. My legs feel weak all of a sudden, and I collapse onto my bed. Through everything, my own misgivings and concerns about my future, choosing to quit the show and telling Tara about it, and even witnessing the monster at the church, I've managed to keep my composure. But for the first time in I don't know how long, I can't stop it any longer. I cry. All of this feels so unfair. Yeah. Of course I didn't want to be here. It's been a waste of time every single other time. I get it. I was the skeptic, the non-believer, only humoring her in all her exploits and playing as her foil. I rained on her parade constantly. And now, after everything that's happened, she was right. I can't deny that. But why does that mean I don't deserve to be involved with it now? Maybe she took my leaving personally, even though I swore that wasn't the case. Right, she wanted to go back to school or something? I was only doing what was right for me. I needed to move on and do something with my life. So is it really my fault that meant I had to stop? Is it really my fault that meant I had to stop playing around with paranormal stuff? Parsed that wrong partway through. Am I the asshole? I kept saying I didn't want to be here and the other person took me literally. After these past couple days, I feel like you would assume that, maybe her feelings had changed afterward, though. It's actually kind of cruel to start isolating her right after you all witnessed something like earth-shaking. But that could be it. After these past couple days, I was even starting to reconsider that. Maybe staying on the show wouldn't be so bad. Once the episode goes live, everything will be changing. But now I don't feel like that's an option. Like she'd even want me there anymore. I feel like everything in my life has changed in just a few short days. Like I'm lost at sea without anything to hold on to. My best friend in the whole world is at the epicenter of it all, 9,000 miles from home. Through the walls, I can faintly hear the sound of Morgan and Tara discussing whatever it is. Not nearly loud enough for me to make out any words, but enough to be reminded of my exclusion. Yeah, make out. I wonder if Tara knows how upset I am, or if she expected me to be grateful. Neither would surprise me. I cry until my eyes are dry and sore, but I don't feel any better. I mean, was it audible? Did you play it up? I would consider playing it up. Make them both feel bad. Walls of my bedroom feel claustrophobic, and the vague sound of Tara talking is insufferable. I hurriedly bundle up and slip out of my bedroom and out of the cabin to get some fresh air. This has to be it, right? It's gonna be a ghost. Deru no ka? Ima kara. Nanka deru no ka? The cold is just barely more manageable today, but it's still preferable to the atmosphere inside. It stings my wet cheeks, burning reminders of my unhappiness. Girl! I pick a direction at random and start heading into the forest. As long as I don't make any twists or turns and just go in a straight line, I won't be able to get lost. You sure? You're real sure? After what I've seen, the woods feel especially hostile now. I wonder what else could be lurking in the shadows or farther amongst the trees. Countless possibilities that I'd never considered are suddenly plausible. Then why are you going in alone? Did you bring a flashlight? Did you bring your phone? Famous last words, exactly. But for once I don't hesitate. I just walk, my feet automatically stepping over roots and other forest debris. Underfoot, the snow is slushy and messy. My head feels the same. Mood. My heart hurts. Everything hurts. My nose burns from crying, the cold only exacerbating the effect. I have a lot of trouble with that particular word. I don't know why. I always want to put the C in the wrong place or something. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? I just feel lost. I reflect on the show and on the years I've spent with Tara and wonder how it all came to this. Yeah, I don't think they were dating at this point. There's gotta at least be a one-sided, like, crush or something, but... My god, I drank all my water again already. The show had been her idea, of course, but I was the one who encouraged her to go through with it. She'd always had a flair for the dramatic, whether it was the school play, her old blog, or even the over-the-top fanfic she used to write. And I'd always been there to support her, whatever it was. It's feeling very Love Live at the moment. I'd go over her lines with her and help her rehearse, or even edit her fics. When she first had the idea for Terranormal and combining her two biggest interests, cryptids and herself. Wow. I was the only person who said she should go for it. I even came up with the name, which I'm still pretty proud of. It is a solid name. Surprised that wasn't super taken. I guess there's no reason it wouldn't. Or it couldn't be. At first, I thought it would just be another entry in a long list of harebrained ideas. Excuse me, that Tara would start and quickly lose interest in. I gave it 2, maybe 3 episodes tops before she got bored. But the reception was good and the views started coming in. So did the ad revenue and the sponsorships. That's how you know this is a fantasy. What had started as a weekend hobby turned into a weekend responsibility, and then into a day job. My role went from holding a cheap camera and stitching together the footage to actually learning proper video editing and investing in decent equipment. It seemed only natural that I'd be the one to handle all of the invites, fan mail, inquiries, and more. The professional side of things. I put my life on hold for the show. Quit college halfway through my film studies degree and moved out of my chief student housing. I gave up my barista job and the store manager promotion I'd been hoping for. I dropped everything in order to help Tara make the best show possible. Girl, how good were those, was that ad revenue? Is she paying you? Even if you're splitting it? Sure, it wasn't like I had it rough. Tara's always split the royalties with me and pays for the expenses herself. Okay. I still would have kept the part-time barista job, bare minimum. How much work was it if you had to drop college and 2 jobs at once? Well, I think it was, she was a barista and was hoping to get a store manager job at the cafe. Sure. Oh, alright. The 2 of us have done pretty well for ourselves. Better than we had any right to expect. Yes, seriously. But at the end of the day, it was still always about Tara. How is she funding it? I don't know. Her name in the title. Her name on the contracts. Her name in the fan mail. Tara, Tara, Tara. And when it's all over, when the final episode someday goes up and she moves on, she'll be able to take that name with her anywhere. That success, that popularity. Yeah, store manager does seem, or wouldn't immediately sound like a barista thing, but I'm guessing that was the idea. I don't know what else you would call it. And all I'll have is the memory. Were you credited at least? You got the video editing skills. The more I dwell on it, the more unfair Tara's behavior seems. I can feel anger overcoming my sadness. How can she say I'm only pretending to care? I gave up years of my life for her and dedicated them to making her look good. Yeah. Without me, she'd have never been able to balance running the business side of the show while actually making it. Hell, she's not even close to being tech-savvy enough to do what I do. Sounds like a big ol' you should have just used your words like adults situation. Yeah, seriously. Part of me wants to spin around right now and go back to the cabin and demand an apology. But I know how that would go. She'd just get defensive. And even if she did say she's sorry, she wouldn't mean it. It wouldn't actually fix anything. We'd just be back to where we started when we first got to Eisenfeld. Awkward and tense. There isn't really a good solution that I can think of, but I have to do or say something. I can't just leave things as they are. Her offer for an early trip home lingers in my mind. I'm sure she'd make good on that promise. It sounds pretty tempting, too. In less than 3 days, I could be comfortable, warm, and back in my own bed. I'd never have to think about Morgan, or Eisenfeld, or forest spirits, or weird churches, or floating lights again. I could just move on with my life, the same way I'd been planning to once I get home anyway. As I think that, though, I know it's not really an option. I'd never be able to live with myself if I let it all go unresolved. 2 piercing red eyes shine in my memory, and I know that there's no way I'd be able to forget about them. Yeah. Oh, pretty. Remembering the monster makes me stop and take stock of my surroundings. I've been walking at a pretty good rate, unhindered by the weather and fueled by my bad mood. There's a small clearing just up ahead, and it looks like it might be a good spot to take a short break. Here it is. This is gonna happen. It occurred to me when I opened the game tonight that we haven't met the other girl in the title screen art, which gives me half an inkling at least of where this is going. It's not very big, I realize when I reach it. I could toss a stone from one side to the other. Also, it's totally silent right now. Or maybe there's some vague white noise? It doesn't feel as stifling as the rest of the forest, though. I clear my throat. It's the only noise I can hear. The sounds of the village don't travel this far. They barely reach the cabin for the most part. I made an assumption and I was wrong. Overhead, the sky is a crystal clear blue for the first time that I can remember. It's still freezing, but it isn't cloudy. Not even an airplane or vapor trail disturb the tranquility. I rub my eyes and defog my glasses. I must look like a real mess out here. I do feel a little bit better, though. The fresh air alone has helped to clear my head. The snow underfoot is well trampled from my stomping around. And mud mixes with slush to form a thin paste that sticks to my boots. だって、デリだよね、これ。こういう流れ。It's gonna show up, right? If there was somewhere to sit down, this place would be perfect. I make do with leaning against a tree that's mostly dry. My throat is mostly dry. I might need to grab some water in a second. Some more water. I'll need to remember how I got here. It would be nice to have a place of my own to retreat to when I need it. Away from the other two. I sure hope you remember how you got here. Just as I am enjoying the tranquility, there's a rustling sound overhead, and I look up just in time to get a face full of snow as it slides off a branch. Perfect timing. I cough and splutter, wiping away as much of it as I can, though a lot of it still falls into my clothes. I flap my jacket's like wings, trying to knock it out. Hang on, sorry. I need more water. myself, did I? That would be too smart. Yeah. This is going to be a very short game. She can't remember how to get back. Sorry, cats were being cute, so I got distracted. I read that already. Right then, from the corner of my eye, I knew it! A quick motion catches my attention. It's gone too fast for me to notice more than a glimpse of fabric, and I turn around to see who it was. But there's nothing there, and no sign of anything having been there. Heart pounding, I walk over in the direction it came from, looking for footprints or something. There's nothing. Always forgetting for cute kitties. Yeah, I'll have to post it later. They've been adorable lately because it's been so cold. They get extra cuddly. I rub my eyes. Maybe it was the snow messing with my vision. Oh. Tree branch. The harsh, unmistakable sound of a branch breaking cracks behind me. I spin around expecting to see Tara there with a dumb smile on her face for having spooked me. But again, there's nothing. I pull my coat tighter around my stuff and press my back against a tree.
Hello? Is someone there?
My voice resounds through the clearing, but goes unanswered. Oh? In the middle of the clearing, a mysterious woman appears for just a moment. She has long pink hair and a lavender nightgown. Despite the snow, she's barefoot. Again, a flash of movement from the corner of my eye. This time I'm sure I see it. A glimpse of purple, darting behind a tree. I start towards it, hand reaching, but without a clear plan in mind, just like a dog chasing cars. I don't know what I'll actually do if I catch it. Oh, I don't know the game here. Heroine, yeah. But if I'm the heroine and you're the heroine. I walk into the middle of the clearing, turning a slow circle, hoping to spot whatever it was.
Can you hear me? Hello?
It already knows I'm here. There's no point in trying to hide. Ah. Alright, we'll bust out the scared face. I was like, I know this is Yuri, so I'm not that scared, but it's a little scary. Snow crunches off to my left and I pivot, just in time to see a girl disappear behind yet another tree.
Hey, wait!
Oh girl, don't get lost. I may as well not be saying anything, for all the effect it seems to have. I hurry to the tree where I saw her, but she's gone. I'm just running in circles, chasing after who knows what. My heart beats like a kick drum. A million possibilities race through my head, each more fantastic than the last. I mean, I can't think of that many. Maybe she's from the village. Maybe I imagined her. Maybe she's another forest spirit. Maybe she's the same forest spirit we saw before in a different form. That is low-key my theory. Any of them could be true. I see now that nothing is impossible. I look all around, searching for a clue and finding none. This is a bad idea, I know. Every single fairy tale I've ever read warns that this is a bad idea. Chasing after mysterious girls in the woods never ends well. I mean, you didn't see her go in a direction, did you? She could be luring me to her secret lair, or could even be a disguise for some kind of terrible monster. Maybe it's the forest spirit come to exact revenge for trespassing in its territory. Sorry, water. I should turn and run, and race back to the cabin. If I told Tara and Morgan, I'm sure this is the kind of thing that would override Tara's annoyance, at least for now. It could be our chance to patch things up, pursuing some new mystery. Or I could not tell Tara, and I could solve the mystery myself, whatever it is. For the first time, something happened to me that doesn't involve Tara. Oh my god. Not that I'm bitter. I could keep it that way. My hand is trembling, but I reach out in the direction I last saw the girl. more as a sign of openness than anything else.
Are you still there?
Silence.
If you can hear me, can you let me know?
Decided I want to use you as a tool in my fight with my not-ex-girlfriend. No response. My fingers close over empty air. This is stupid. I feel like an idiot talking to no one. If she wanted to be caught, she would have let me, I'm sure. But then, if she didn't, then what was the point of even showing herself?
I'll come back tomorrow, okay? If you'll be here again.
It feels desperate. It is desperate. But I can't let this chance go. Not when this could be all I have. A light breeze blows through as if to answer. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I stand there, hoping for another sign. As I give up and turn back towards the path home, I see it for just a split second. A bright pink light, crystal clear and the color of a sunset, flashes just once. It's the same as the one we chased through the forest several days ago. My breath catches in my throat, my muscles tighten, poised to follow, but my common sense overrides. As much as I want to, I can't just go off running into the forest. On my own, I'd probably never find my way back. I swallow. If it can understand me like it seems to, then I'll see it tomorrow. Once I've had more time to prepare. Prepare what? Your ghost gun? Face the direction the light came from, even though it's gone now.
I'll be back tomorrow. I promise.
Morgan and Tara never noticed me come home. They might not even notice that I left. I don't make any efforts to talk with them. I'm still too angry with Tara. Instead, I spend the rest of my day in my room, watching films or reading. It's still weird that she says films, at least to me. All of the research that I was so eagerly working on is put aside, stuffed into a folder that's out of sight on my hard drive. I have my own project now, my own lead to explore. Purple-haired girl creepy town. The thought of that light and the mysterious girl in the woods stays on my mind through it all. Oh no, pink-haired girl, I'm sorry. Even late into the night, I can hear that Morgan's still over in Tara's room with her. Oh! At some point, the sounds go from conversation to something else. There you go. It's Yuri. Congrats. I turn up the volume on my computer. They can do whatever they want. It's well past midnight when my eyes finally get heavy enough to sleep. The next day, I head straight to the clearing without telling anyone, nearly 24 hours to the minute since I left it. From the thick clouds overhead, I can tell that it's going to be a short trip. Still, I have to go, at least to see. My heart thumps with anticipation, and more than a little nervousness. It's an odd mix. I force myself to keep a calm demeanor and not get too worked up. It's difficult. I'm hopeful, but I don't know what for. I don't have a camera or even my cell phone. Why? 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 At least bring your cell phone, please? There's no way I could prove anything that happens. And it's not like there's anyone who could vouch for me, say that I saw what I saw. For now, it's important that I keep it that way. This encounter, whatever it may be, will be mine and mine alone. Yeah, especially if you fucking die here! Arriving at the clearing, I brace myself for what I might find. Nothing's changed. I'm met with silence. There's the faint sound of trees rustling in the wind, and nothing more.
Hello? Are you out there?
I give it a moment, waiting and hoping for a response that never comes. Maybe it really was my eyes playing tricks on me. The light could have been a reflection of the sun, and the girl could have been... There isn't a doubt left in my mind that the girl was there. There's no way I didn't see someone. Frustrated, I kick at some of the mush on the ground. It splashes up and splatters my legs.
Are you there? I'm waiting. Please.
feel like a fool. I'm pleading with someone that may or may not exist to manifest. If someone had told me a week ago that I'd be here doing this today, I'd have laughed at them. Everything about this situation is unlike me. My irritation builds up. With myself, with Tara, with the stupid ghost light, with everything. Whatever was there is gone now. And really, what kind of an idiot convinces herself to come back for an imaginary date with a weird breeze? Okay, now I know you reading into this. You're already calling it a date. I guess when your best friend slash roommate slash probably not ex is like hooking up in the next room over to you. Maybe you've got Yuri on the brain also. I clench my fist, looking without seeing. Slowly I turn circles, hoping for something. Anything. I trace back and forth at an increasingly desperate pace, not really sure what kind of clue I'm searching for, but just knowing that I can't sit still. If I sit still, then I'm giving up, and if I give up, then I really don't have anything left for me out here. For the second day in a row, I feel the sting of tears in my eyes, and I pinch my eyes shut to stop them. Hey, no worries, man. I cry 2 days in a row all the time. I mean, what? Not here. Not today. I hold my hand there and suck in a deep breath. The cold air stings my throat. I steady my breathing, fighting back the urge to cry. After a moment, once the urge has passed, I lower my hand and open my eyes. Alright. Kita! Sorry, I don't have air horns. And she's there. So silently and suddenly, why can I see the whole outline of your legs? That it's like she was never not there. Hearing intensifies. The mysterious girl stands before me, barefoot in the snow but seemingly unfazed. She regards me with a curious look, her eyes wide, like I'm the one who's out of place. Now that she's here, right in front of me, I realize that I don't know what to say.
Hello?
Is all I could muster. My voice comes out weaker than I expected. Her eyes go wide at my word. Her lips move, but no sound comes out. She mouths something else again, still without a voice.
I can't hear you.
A frown. She turns away. Have I disappointed her? Is she going to disappear again?
Please don't go!
I don't know why I want her to stay. Something is clearly different, unnatural. This isn't a normal girl. But that's exciting, in and of itself. The girl turns back around to face me again. She looks just as confused as I feel. There's a nervous sort of energy to her. Beneath the gown she's wearing, far too thin for the weather, the girl's legs are tense and ready to bolt. I take a step towards her, holding up my hand the same way I'd approach a kitten or lost puppy.
My name's Madison. Can you understand me?
She still looks a bit nervous, but nods. So we speak the same language. That's good. Is she from Eisenfeld? I can't imagine she's from anywhere else. There's nothing else around.
You were talking, right? Just a bit ago. But I couldn't hear you.
Another nod. That means that for whatever reason, her words can't reach me. Maybe she's naturally mute, or maybe her voice was magically stolen. Every idea that comes to mind is more ridiculous than the last, but I consider them all equally. To my surprise, I'm able to remain calm and, by my standards, pretty level-headed. Seems like the girl is more afraid of me than vice versa. I drop my hand down, offering a handshake. Well, I don't know if that's gonna work. She stares at it for a moment, maybe expecting it to turn into a snake, or for me to shoot magic bolts from my fingers. When neither of those happen, she gingerly, slowly reaches for my hand. It passes right through me. Yeah, Her fingers glide through the palm of my hand like a breeze disappearing into the air. With a sad smile, she looks down, seemingly expecting this result. Horrific realization slowly dawns on me, with the same tinge of certainty that guided me out here. This girl isn't really here in the same way that I am.
You're a ghost.
A slow, sad nod. She looks apologetic about it, for inconveniencing me with her lack of a corporeal form.
I'm sorry.
The words feel weak and inadequate, and nearly like a non sequitur. But really, what do you say to a ghost? She shakes her head vigorously, her hair flying about, trying to rid herself of some bad thought. She gives me a big smile and stretches her arms wide, turning about to gesture to the trees around us.
What is it? I don't understand.
Girl bites her lip, wondering how to better convey her message. Then, with a decisive nod, she points at me and then points at the ground between us. Pausing a moment, she holds that pose. Then she points at the trees, in particular the path I'd come from, and shakes her head. A flash of fear knifes its way under my skin. Is she threatening me? She definitely doesn't look like it.
Something about where I came from?
She nods and then repeats the pointing. First at me, then at the ground.
Me? Right here?
Right from here?
You're asking if I'll stay here?
Oh, I see it. She nods and claps, hopping up. Except she doesn't come down. She hovers there as if suspended by invisible strings, then slowly lowers herself back to the ground. It's a cute touch with the sprite movements. I'm not sure if it's what she was going for, but I smile.
Are you showing off?
She laughs and nods, glad to be understood. Cute.
I can stay for a bit, sure. If you want me to, I mean.
The girl practically zooms the short distance between us, moving with what might be supernatural speed. She stands so close that her gown phases right through me, uncomfortable in its lack of sensation. And she nods again, this time solemn and hopeful. I can't fight the feeling that she could easily be setting some kind of trap or leading me astray, but I still don't get that impression from her, so I agree.
Okay, I'd be happy to. But I can't stay for too long, or Tara will start to wonder where I am.
Tara again. For the first time since we arrived, I was able to fully push her from my thoughts. I was so overwhelmed by meeting this girl that Tara didn't even register on my consciousness. But now, there she is again. She's more haunting than the ghost. Oof! Just make a playlist about it, girl, jeez. The ghost in question mouths Tara's name, one of the few words I can actually lip read.
The person I came here with. She's, back in the village.
The girl's eyes go wide, and she points in the direction of the forest, then makes a dragging motion back to where we are. This one's easy to understand.
No, she's not coming here. She has no idea.
For the first time, I'm glad the girl can't speak, because it means she can't ask me to elaborate. Rude. I don't want to think about Tara right now.
Anyway, were you here yesterday too? Watching me?
A nod, only unapologetic.
I thought so. I also thought I might be crazy, though. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised by either one.
Not sure what... なんかさっきから気になってたけど、何ですかそれ？あれ。This little pin, it feels like it's not really accomplishing anything. It's just kind of hanging off her bangs. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised by either one. I don't know for a minute. She looks surprised. I wonder if she knows about the other supernatural occurrences in the forest. Maybe they're connected somehow.
The other day, my friend and I were out in the forest.
Nod.
And suddenly, there was this huge snowstorm.
Just your friend
out
and
of
I?
nowhere. And we
Not
saw
friends, plural?
this giant thing.
I stretched my hands to indicate just how enormous it was. One second. But the enormity and terror of it are impossible to convey.
I don't even know how to describe it. It was a monster of some kind. Like a huge tree had come alive and was walking in the snow.
Do
you know what I'm talking about?
Later. No worries, I'm probably gonna wrap up soon. And then I'll probably play again same time Thursday night. Not only does the girl nod, but she laughs, finding something funny about my story. Is it her? Are we gonna find out? I'm not sure if I should be worried or not.
So you've seen it. Is it, like, evil?
Thanks for coming, though. Have a good night. A firm shake of her head.
That's good. It was honestly the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
After that, we taper off into silence. Well, I do. Yeah, she's already silent. I don't have a reason to believe her, but so far she doesn't seem threatening at all. I have a hard enough time holding up my end of a conversation under normal circumstances mood. This just makes it even harder. The two of us just stand there, looking at each other. Now that she's not moving around so much, I'm able to get a better look at her. She seems to be around my age, if not a bit younger. Her hair is long and slightly unruly, reaching well down her back. She reminds me a bit of Rapunzel, all alone in the forest. Hey, same. A cute bow midway down helps keep her hair in place. Her wide eyes are curious, but slightly sad. Still, she smiles so easily that I wonder if I'm just imagining the sorrow. I mean, she's dead, so... As green as emeralds, her eyes kind of remind me of Morgan's. I was so taken aback by her sudden appearance and, well, ghostliness, that at first I didn't realize. She's beautiful. Her choice of attire makes a lot more sense now that I know she can't feel the cold. The gown she's wearing has a few dangling threads and scuff spots, which I assume haven't changed since she died. I shudder, trying not to think of my own mortality. Yeah! What's it like? Why is she here instead of whatever usually happens when you die? Does she know what she's missing? An afterlife or lack thereof? I have a million questions about her life and about life itself. There's so much I want to ask, but it's impossible. How are you gonna fall in love then? Plus, we've only known each other a few minutes. Feels like that would be rude to ask right away. Yeah. A thick snowflake lands on my cheek, startling me. I'd pretty much forgotten about the weather. Overhead, the clouds are getting worse, and the snow is starting to fall more heavily. As much as I want to spend more time with her, I really don't want to be caught out in a blizzard a second time.
I need to go back now, but will you be here again? I'd like to see you again. If you'd like that too.
She nods emphatically with a grin to match. I can't help but smile in return. It's nice to know that someone is looking forward to seeing me. Love to project my girlfriend issues onto
I'll
a
come
dead
back
girl.
as soon as I can. I promise. Although, I'm not sure when the weather will let me do that. On the next sunny day, I'll be there, okay?
The next sunny day. She nods. You know, little clouds stop you from seeing your new ghost girlfriend?
Okay, I'll see you soon then. I hope.
The sunlight effects in the background here are nice, though. That stuff. It's nice. The girl waves goodbye as I turn to leave, remaining in the center of the clearing. As I get my last look at her, I know that I'm not imagining the sadness in her eyes now. I glance behind several times on the walk back, each time expecting her to have disappeared once more. But she stays there, waving, until the trees obscure her from sight. Aww. Splash of purple fabric against the brown and white of the forest. A little spark of light to look forward to. Alright, I think that is a good place to stop for tonight. I don't want to go for too long since my voice has been a little croaky. I might have a work stream tomorrow. It's Wednesday. That would probably be around 1 p.m. EST. And otherwise, I'll be back at the same time Thursday night. And I've also got a Yuri chat stream going on Friday the 25th. So let's see if there's someone who can raid. Who's on Twitch? I don't suppose anyone else is playing a visual novel to keep the keep that going.
Taking the stage on karaoke night takes
Oh, Royal Knight is live.
it's hard to
Oops, sorry about the ads. Fuck, what? Oh well. Lobotomy Corporation? That appears to be a visual novel? I'm not familiar. It's an indie horror strategy management simulation. Well, I guess that's about as close as we're gonna get. Alright. I will get that going then. Where do I do that? Okay. Well, the Royal Knight is streaming for the first time. But, I'll go say hi to her later. We'll raid Leia for now. Alright, so we're gonna go raid my fellow VTuber translator. Leia. She's a fox girl. She's playing Lobotomy Corporation, which appears to be a horror visual novel, so spookier than oh, I did it again. Spookier than this one, but slowly ramp up the spooky with each successive raid. Thank you again for coming tonight. I hope everyone had a good time. Oats Melon, see you soon. Oh, yes, melon.